I like the.
Oh, yeah. Oops. Well, it's a mystery puddle.
It's just living.
Is it jizz? Is it
cum?
Is it tears?
And I believe we are live.
Okay. I'm not going to say curse words for the first minute. What up, Earthlings?
Angels?
Yeah, right. Smart ladies and gentlemen and theys and thems. Welcome to a very special live episode of Guys We Hugged.
The anti-bad girl shaming podcast. Welcome to the show. What a day it's been already and what a night it's going to be. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, we're happy you're here. We hope you're doing well. And we'll kick it off with, you want to get deep, Corinne?
Sure. I feel naked because my phone is charging because I got in so many internet fights today that I killed the battery.
Oh, wow.
It was a real hot day on YouTube for me.
About anything in particular? Oh, the comments of your podcast?
I was just showing people what it's like when you do a podcast that is not, your own, that is hosted mostly by a man,
Yes.
But there's also like different camps of comedy, and I think people don't understand that. Like, it's just like any business. Like if you're not on the inside, there's going to be parts of it that you don't understand. So there's like camps that are familiar with some comics, and like I'm not in the camp with some of the comics I have podcasted with in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We're in the girls comedy camp, and then I guess Legion of Skanks camp. That wasn't really by choice.
Yeah, we
that was
got roped into that.
accidental.
Remember
Don't you wish you could take it back?
Remember that night at the creek?
Honestly, I love some of those fans.
Yeah,
but
they are sweet. I gotta be honest, Skankfest is really fun and everyone is lovely, and I've yet to have a bad time there. But remember when we were at the Creek in the Cave in LIC, and the Legion of Skanks guys called us the hottest girls in comedy?
I do.
What a fleeting moment that was.
And then Lewis did an interview later after me and him got in a spat, and then he's like, he tried to downplay it. He's like, yeah, I mean, I said it to both of them, but obviously I only meant it to Christina.
Oh, and good one, Lewis.
Because I didn't want Corinne to feel bad, and I was like, bitch, I was in my prime. I was like, I look at photos of me. Honestly,
I think you're your hottest now.
I'm back in my prime now, but I honestly,
but I
am, because if you look at photos of me then, I look a lot similar to the way I do now.
Yeah, you look great.
Because it's literally just I went back to the same weight that I was at when I started comedy before the trauma of being a comedian fucking took me down.
Yeah.
I also
Life really gets to you.
Yo, it does, dude. All y'all in your 20s, you're all skippy and happy, and just wait, it's coming,
It's
man.
like what happened during that time period. Oh, I wonder why someone might get sick and gain weight. It's like I dated a fucking dude who joined a cult allegedly, and then married my fucking doppelganger. My dad died. This guy I was dating died.
Happen.
My best friend died from childhood. Like it was a terrible time. People were trying to fuck our boyfriends nonstop.
Oh, that was a fun one.
It was not a great
While
period.
we were in the midst of the heartache.
It was not a great period.
I did stumble across, you know how your iPhone is like, remember this? And it's always with an X.
It's always the worst day you've ever had.
Yeah, you cunt of a...
Pictures that you thought were long gone.
Yeah.
It's me.
That you
It's
never...
me with my dad in his casket.
Yeah, right.
Smile, Dad. What's wrong?
And also, sorry to, but just as a disclaimer to anyone in the room,
Yes.
when a loved one dies, I'm gonna have to unfriend you if you take a picture of you holding the corpse's hand and then you post it to Facebook.
No, nobody. Who did that?
No, Mike. Not only does nobody does this. This is a common internet trend.
Are you kidding?
That
No.
they will post a photo of
keep
them
that to yourself.
holding the dead person's hand in like the hospital bed, because like that's the last memory I have, and I love that for you, and I'm glad that you have that memory. You keep that to yourself. Okay,
I wouldn't.
Some things need to be private.
Yeah.
Can you imagine me coming into my dad's viewing? TikTok.
What up? We're live at my dad's casket.
I accidentally dropped the iPhone on his face.
It doesn't hurt him because he's dead.
Oh my god.
Can't hurt his soul. Wow, that's fucked, man.
Yeah, I was like, I honestly, and the thing about your dad's funeral, guys, is like, you're gonna remember every moment. You're not.
Vividly.
You don't need to TikTok it.
Yeah.
It's just gonna live rent free right here for the rest of your goddamn life. I promise you. I promise you.
You're
You
gonna
don't need a
try
boomerang.
hard to get it out of your head, probably.
You don't need a boomerang of the casket going in the ground.
No
You're
filter.
gonna be fine.
That's so funny. Oh
Dad
my
doesn't
god.
need a filter
I
anymore.
still wake up with nightmares about losing my grandpa.
Oh no!
It's been 13 years.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah, I
my
would never do
God.
that. Also, too, the ones that when the picture of the pet paw.
Ugh.
That's
can't.
so sad.
I cannot. Yeah.
That's so fucking sad.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get that like you're sad and you want to express yourself, but like I don't want to see that right now. I just want to see video. I'm trying to curate my Instagram feed better because I follow too many help account like.
Oh,
here,
yeah, I had to undo a lot of
ADHD
those.
and trauma, and it's like Jesus Christ, you can't ingest that shit every day. It's bad for you.
Yeah, I had to do
bad
that
for
with
you.
hockey. I got really into hockey for a little bit.
Yeah, very
Nice.
similar. Good.
Yeah.
Thanks for
same
bringing
thing.
that up, Mike.
Yeah, I gotta
Sorry for your
unfollow
struggle.
some stuff.
Sorry for your struggle. Too many flyers posts.
Well, and the thing about unfollowing the self-help stuff is like you realize also if you're following a lot of self-help things that some of those people
Sad.
are just apeshit crazy.
Yo.
Just out of their fucking minds.
Yeah, because it's always when you go to the high school reunion and then you're like, you're a therapist now? Oh boy.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
Yeah.
oh my god, someone just actually DM'd me an invite to whatever year high school reunion it was. I'm not saying it because I'm embarrassed. I'm saying it because I literally can't do math and I can't remember. But I almost replied to him, LOL, but I thought that was like a rude response.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
would you go? I mean, at
I
any,
would. I think we were gonna have one, and then it wasn't. It just disintegrated. Like no one organized it. I'm like, we have 1,100 people in my graduating class. Ain't nobody organizing this.
Right.
But
I would only go back if I was like
doing so
Jennifer
well.
Aniston famous.
Yeah.
I'm successful, but I am not successful enough that it would be fun. Like everyone would need to know.
Yeah.
You know, that's the
Right.
only level at which I
You're
go
probably
back.
the most famous person from your high school.
For my graduating class, perhaps.
Yes.
There was a guy who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but
Ooh.
for a small amount of time. And then
Fleeting.
there's a famous, like a semi well-known DJ.
okay.
But probably I'm doing the best. Oh, and then the girl who was on The Circle,
What's that?
the reality TV show on Netflix.
Uh-oh. She got to
Yeah.
stay in the circle. She gets like
Yeah, she
Chastised?
didn't win, but yeah, she was on this. It's a social media competition where you can like pretend to be someone else, but you're basically talking as like an avatar, and then people have to guess like if you are who you really say you are, and
Wow.
it's actually a pretty interesting show. It's like a good show to watch with like a boyfriend.
yeah.
But yeah,
Interesting to see the tactics. I
Roxana was on
imagine.
The Circle, so
Wow.
Brittany
Oh.
Murphy went to my high school.
Oh,
Yeah, but obviously way before I was there. But
right.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like Ray Liotta went to my
Hall-
high school.
Hall.
so,
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Hall from Hall & Oates went to mine.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Apparently he's an asshole.
Really?
Yeah.
Daryl Hall, yeah, I think I've heard that Daryl Hall. I think Oates.
I
is the
kind of
good
love
one.
that.
Yeah,
I kind
Oates
of
is
love
the one
he's
that
an
people
asshole.
likes.
Oates
and
is the
then-
good one. Oates
yeah.
is the healthy one.
Yeah,
Yeah, Oates is the palatable one.
That's so funny.
All right, we're gonna answer some question. We'll like go around in a circle, and then we'll open the line for calls, and I'll tell you the number, you guys, once we do that, so that we're gonna avoid any.
Well,
missed calls.
I can just mute the track for now if you want.
Ooh,
Oh, you
look at
can?
us
We
being
can put
tech
the
savvy.
let's put the. I
Okay,
figure
we'll
let's
put the number up.
Put the number up. Remind me
Okay.
this number, Christina.
It's 917-300-0833. Again, that's 917-300-0833. We'll be taking calls shortly, but first, let's get deep. Describe the last time you admitted you were wrong.
Oh, never happened. I admit
Call us
Admitted it.
back.
I mean, yeah.
it's gonna take a while. Corinne got to think of one.
Yeah. Admitted it. I usually, if I know that I'm wrong, unless I'm so up my own ass about it, I usually admit it.
Yeah, no,
'cause I
you're
do a
really
lot of
good
wrong
about
stuff. I
that.
do a lot of wrong stuff, and it sucks. So what was the last time? I think it was about like sparkling water flavors with my boyfriend. He said that the raspberry lime one tasted bad, and I was like no, and I kept buying it, and it didn't really taste good. He was right.
Were you
wrong.
spitefully buying it?
Yeah.
That's hilarious,
Yeah.
though.
But it was the spite was so deep that I convinced myself that I liked
that's
it.
so funny. I love that
Fuck.
for you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like, oh God, I mean, I don't know if this is the most recent, but the one I can remember is like when I wrote an apology to my ex-boyfriend about the manner in which I broke up with him.
Okay.
That was like a big apology.
That's nice.
So that one sticks out.
That's great.
That I could have done it in a nicer manner, but I was under duress at the time.
It happens.
Yeah.
How about you, Mikey? You thinking?
I am thinking. I'm sure it had to have been to a woman recently, but I'm trying to think exactly what that could have been.
Wow.
I can't. I mean, the most
all these hoes be hoeing.
The most recent. I mean, it had to have been to a woman about something regarding dating.
You don't even fucking remember, do you?
Yeah, either just. I think the only thing that comes to mind is maybe somebody around Thanksgiving who thought that I like led them on, and I just kind of apologized and was like, "I'm sorry if that's."
Wow, sounds exactly like the story you told on Guys We Fucked about someone leading you on.
Well, there's some
mirror.
There's some more details there.
Oh,
I don't want to spill on the.
Oh, come on, the tea's right
subscribe
there.
Subscribe to Luminary. Subscribe to
pew,
Luminary.
pew, pew.
Pew, pew, pew. I have updates on my story too. Pew pew pew.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. I definitely I don't think I led this person on. I thought I communicated pretty clearly, but I don't think she felt that's the same way. So we, I agree to disagree on that. But I did apologize for if I had made her feel bad.
Well, I mean, and sometimes I think it's like you're finding out that you guys aren't meant to be together because you can't interpret each other's communication styles. Yeah. So like if you thought you communicated properly, but she didn't interpret it as such, like you're probably.
When were you last in a fight? What caused it and who won? Fight.
Like
I don't fight that often. I think it was with my ex-best friend a couple years ago. I mean, I guess my parents. That's pretty ongoing though.
Yeah, I mean, a fight. I was like every day online with some man named, Andy Mac 227.
Yeah, an egg. Fight with an egg.
Yeah,
just the letter, the letter
strong
A.
opinions.
The letter A calling me an abrasive cunt. Oh, okay. That's a good way to downplay everything, the situation. Put the fire out.
Oh my god.
Or maybe I light your house on fire. Do you know that after Left Eye set the house on fire of her boyfriend, he forgave her?
Yes, because the C word they did a C word episode about her.
That was so nice.
Yeah, it was nice. That's some good pussy, huh?
Right? I'm like, they go, she's just a character.
Was he famous?
I think he was definitely he was in the music industry. I don't know if he was. I can't. I feel like he might be like. I can't remember if he was a producer or an artist, but he was definitely well off. It was like a very nice place.
Okay, yeah.
Did one of them date D'Angelo?
Oh, D'Angelo.
Sounds right. I don't know.
Yo, D'Angelo, I didn't know this. It was brought to my attention. His songs are so sexy. He got big, and then he got back to being buff. And I was like, wait, there was a time where D'Angelo was just just overweight, but in a way that you're like, oh, you don't like yourself. You're not taking care of yourself. Just a slot.
He has some serious mental,
right.
depression problems and stuff.
It was that kind of, he is. But then he got back, and I was like, whoa, I can't picture D'Angelo not insanely hot. And then I looked at pictures, and he went through not an insanely hot phase.
Yeah, you can't be 350 and then be like, I'm D'Angelo. Just the name.
Yeah.
That's why it's so rude when parents give their kids a hot name, because you can never lose it.
Yeah.
He's a hot guy too.
He's hot.
D'Angelo in his
everything
prime.
about him is sexy.
So wait,
and now he's back. He's back in his prime.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
he pulled a Corinne.
Yeah.
Thank you. Speaking of famous people from my high school, so not from my grade, but one of the most accomplished performers from my high school is this kid who was an adult now on Broadway, and his name is Steele Burkhart. Shout out.
Whoa, that's a hot guy name.
But exactly.
Is he not hot?
No, he is hot.
Okay.
But the thing is, the pressure.
Right.
Can you imagine? You're a little baby. Your name is Steel. You gotta
start lifting weights.
Yeah.
The second you're out of those Pampers, buddy, you need abs.
hot.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Fuck.
Steel. You can't say hi. My name is Steel, and you're a 5.
That's the name of a famous porn star. I'm pretty sure too.
Well, he's named after, I believe, Superman, like Man of Steel.
Man of Steel,
wow,
yeah.
that's a bold ass name,
Right?
Jesus.
Yeah, and thank God, very good looking, very talented.
I will say, if you don't know how your kid's going to turn out, give them a fucked up spelling on their name, and they could either live up to it or go, yeah, that makes sense that she looks like that. We don't know who the donor of her sperm is yet, so she might turn out. I'll go. Who knows?
Oops. Yeah, like Corinne's it can go either way because Corinne can
I've
be
never
like
met an ugly Corinne.
it can be a quirky girl, it can be a hot girl, or it can be a quirky girl. So that gives you a lot to work with.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna expect Corinne to be ugly, but she could be just a weirdo.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah.
Michael's all over the board.
You could be anything.
I could be
anything.
Yeah, I could
so
be.
you were blessed with a blank canvas.
You can do whatever you want.
That's right. I could be an athlete or the archangel.
Yeah.
You know?
Archangel Michael. Okay, so let's do some phone calls, you guys. Are we hooked back up to? Do I have to do the Bluetooth?
Yeah, go ahead.
thing?
No, you're good.
I'm good. Does it say I'm connected? Yes, I am. Okay, so guys, it's 917-300-0833, where our first call's coming in from Arlington, Virginia. Let's go.
Or 2 to decline. Press 1 to start
And
the call.
if we're
or 2
already
to
on a call,
decline.
don't call
Press
us.
1 to start the call, or the call will start at the beep.
Hello, how are you? You're live with Guys We Fucked. What's your name and what are you calling about?
Oh, hey.
Hi.
My name is Steve. And
You got it. Can you
was
repeat that,
thinking about
miss?
this question.
What'd you say your name was? You cut out.
Oh,
when you
yeah,
said it.
sorry. It's Bobby.
Oh, Bobby. Hi, Bobby.
Hi. I was thinking about this question earlier, and I think I may have heard it on a podcast. Well, your guys' podcast, obviously, years ago.
Not Call Her Daddy.
And no, my God, no.
I love you for that reaction.
So my question is, I was wondering if you guys could talk a little bit about owning your orgasm. I feel like there's a lot. Yeah, I guess because I've been thinking a lot lately about how maybe sometimes a partner expects their other partner to give them an orgasm.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I see what you're saying.
Instead of
So-
controlling where it goes yourself. Or are you talking about it on you as a woman owning your orgasm, or you want to talk about men being more having more autonomy over their own orgasms?
Ooh.
She didn't even know.
Stumped you.
I guess
Well, I also what came up for me when you were talking is I'm thinking of a woman just kind of sitting back and crossing her fingers that the guy knows how to make her come.
Yeah, I guess for me, the person that I'm dating now just doesn't really make me come.
Okay.
And so when they come, I'm damn, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What about me?
Right. Have you told them that yet?
Yeah.
Okay. So
What was the person's reaction to that? And how old are all parties involved? That really helps me.
Yeah.
I'm 27 and my partner is 24.
Oh, that's why. That's the answer right there.
So you have to train your partner to make you come, basically, because I think the odds of a 24-year-old understanding, is it a guy, 24-year-old man?
They are non-binary.
Okay. Do they have a penis? Is that rude to ask? Meaning,
yes.
Okay,
they
so
do.
they have different body parts than you. That's where I was getting at. Because expecting somebody to know the anatomy of your body when they don't have those same parts is also an added tricky layer. What do you want him to do? What do you want him to do differently?
Last longer.
Be better at fucking me.
So how long are they lasting?
I would say 3 minutes tops.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're gonna have to get some. Well,
do you know any? Sorry, do you know anything about their sexual history? Like how many partners they've had?
I know. Yeah, they've had, I think, like about 10 to 12 partners, and this is like the first time that they've ever not lasted for like a longer period of time.
I don't know about that.
It's a nice way of calling it and be like, I'm just so hot.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, like, what's the difference? Like,
Right.
you know, like, you're a different person, but like every single partner, he lasted longer. And then, how long have you guys been sleeping together?
About a year, almost a year.
So wait, they haven't made you come in a year?
It's happened like 3 times.
Okay, so rarely. So one of the things that they can do is last longer. So to last longer, I mean, I don't want to go straight to pills. I'm just trying to think of the options. And the first one that came to my mind, other than a cock ring, because I don't really know if those work. But and I don't have a dick, so I can't say from experience.
People like them.
Yeah, like Viagra. Like Viagra, literally, that's the whole thing is you get hard.
No, but I don't know that Viagra makes you last longer.
Oh, it doesn't?
I think
doesn't it make you hard even after you come though? Is what I've heard.
I mean, I've never taken it, but to my knowledge, I think it's just harder to get hard as you get older. And
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's just there to help like older men.
I think 24 is a little young to go on Viagra because I think I'm worried about that might mess up thing. Like if you need Viagra at 24, I don't know where you go from there.
Yeah,
I'm not. Again, we're not
What's
doctors,
That's
so
a lot for your heart.
What's your
Right.
Bobby? What's your partner's refractory period? Meaning, like, could they potentially jerk off and then 5 minutes later have sex with you, or 10 or whatever?
I don't know.
Because that's a bonus of dating younger guys. They can
all the time.
They can come or non-binary, but younger penis having people. They can get hard most times, like a lot of times in a night, whereas an older person can't do that. Additionally, are you guys using a condom or no?
We are using a condom.
Okay, because that would be my first go-to is definitely use a condom.
Yeah,
if
but you already
the
are.
person can't last long. Is there like, are you using like dirty talk, or is there a certain thing that's getting them off? Like, because I know for some people, like if I say something or if there's some kind of a role
like that, you dirty little bitch.
Yeah, like there's sometimes that gets a person off. Is there anything like that you're doing that's
you could
helping to trigger it?
Well, I don't think so because what they say is just like my face. I'm not trying to toot my own horn.
No, I mean, that's what they're saying to you. No, it's all right.
Right, but there has this.
Maybe he can wear a blindfold.
Yeah, this person is acting like they don't have any like control. Like part of orgasm, having it or not having it is about having control over your own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So getting there and also not getting there.
You
have to kind of be strict with your own mind. And so I think the problem here is this person is not being strict with their own mind, because sometimes like I could not come, but I really concentrate hard and then I am able to fully orgasm.
Yeah.
Because I just don't believe unless there is an actual medical issue. I feel like this person is just kind of being lazy, enjoys coming, is very attracted to you, but isn't trying hard enough not to come to please you. And if they truly cannot stop themselves from coming within 3 minutes, it is then their responsibility as your sexual partner to get you off in some other way. Like, are they offering to finger you or go down on you after?
Use
or
a vibrator.
Is that not even a conversation that's being had? Because like, at this point, me 37, I'm not having sex again ever with anyone who the first time we have sex isn't invested in my orgasm.
Yeah.
And I think that's a difference between women in their 20s and women in their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So are you like, has that come up? Like,
is he trying to devise a plan to adjust their behavior?
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, I mean, they definitely go like all in the beginning, like with the foreplay and fingering. Maybe I just need to ask them to like prolong that, because even that foreplay is like very minimal.
Yes. So what I would say to
I never
to
met
your
a
partner,
24-year-old with like amazing foreplay
yeah,
game.
I used to
unfortunately,
get
me either.
so bored at that age. I not now.
Y'all
I'm
motherfuckers
saying,
be hating foreplay.
at 24, I was absolutely like, oh my God, how long do I have to do this for?
Yeah.
Oh wow, so
Yeah.
hot.
That's
I'm
just
so
how
wet.
you feel at that age. When
Really?
Yeah.
You're not just happy to be like touching a pussy?
Not at that. No.
I think there are a couple, like my ex was like, but that's part of what I liked
Yeah,
about him.
my
That
ex still.
is that he was, even though he was young, he did. Like he had, this
I
is
gotta
like gross
say-
to say he had sex like an adult. Like is that
Right.
that
No, I
feels
know what you mean.
That feels
Well,
disgusting to say.
My ex-partner of 7 years, like one of the reasons why our relationship lasted so long, to be honest, we loved each other and got along really well, but also he got off on me getting off, and that is a quality in a man that, hashtag blessed. I mean, that is a really incredible quality in a man. So I wonder if your partner, if they can kind of, I'm trying to figure
Not
out a
be
way.
so selfish.
Well, no, just try to figure out a way to bring this up without like pushing him, because you know ideally you want him to want to do this, right? But them to want to do this. But if you say to them like, I've had partners in the past that really got off on me coming, and I don't feel that from you, and I don't know that our sex life has been very similar for a year now. If nothing changes, I know I'm going to end up being bitter and frustrated in the end, because that's just scientifically, that's just how it works. That's how the cookie crumbles if you don't address this right away. And you're addressing it because you give a shit, because you are invested in them. So I would just bring it up that way and just say, also try, if they haven't done this yet, have them jerk off, kind of quickly before you start fucking, so that they get that orgasm out of the way.
And
Yeah.
also, he should start masturbating more outside of them hooking up.
Yeah.
I think that will help.
Do they do that? Have you asked them that?
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you brought that up, because they haven't really masturbated much since we started dating.
Okay.
go.
Ding,
Well,
ding,
that's
ding.
the problem.
Yeah,
then.
If the only time their dick is being touched is with your vagina or your mouth, of course they're gonna be overly excited. So there's a starting place, but also make it known when you have this conversation to them that, hey, it's really important to me that we figure this out.
Yeah, I think it's like it's it's probably almost for a sweet reason. Like they think, I'm
I'm saving all my cum for you.
like I have a partner now.
That's very sweet.
The good thing about younger partners like in their early 20s, I think, is that they are more receptive to feedback, especially sexual feedback.
That's nice.
So I think this shouldn't be. It's a much easier conversation to have with like a 24-year-old than it is with a 47-year-old. And I've had to have conversations with both those ages. The 24-year-old is going to be a lot more receptive most times, I think. And, especially you being, because you identify as female.
Yeah.
So like a female partner, because you're older as well, like taking the lead, I think will be okay.
Do wonders, yeah.
And it shouldn't be that awkward. Also, it's kind of like you're setting it up so it's like, most of the onus is on them, but it's also like if at 27 you can't even direct a 24-year-old on how to make you come, like you're going to be destined for a not good sex life, and you don't want that for you.
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your call. I hope that helped.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good luck out there. Cool. Guys, if you want to call us, the number is 917-300-0833. The calls are open. The phone lines are open.
Oh, it's
Ooh,
so
we're getting
nice to just have people make you come, and you don't even have to
Two
ask.
to decline. Press
That's
1
not-
to
that's
start
the
the
love
call,
of
or
your
2 to
30s.
decline. Press 1 to
I
start.
haven't
The
had to
call will
ask in
start
so
at the
long. So lovely.
Hi, how are you? You're live with Guys We Fucked. What's your name and what are you calling about?
Hey there. My name is Grace.
Hi,
and
Grace.
I'm 35, and I've listened to you guys since the beginning.
Fuck yeah.
I feel like I know you already.
You definitely do. You definitely know
But
parts of us, that's
crazy
for
to-
sure.
Hey, and all that growth, which is amazing. Yeah, I was calling because I've been dating my partner for about 2 years, and we've gone through quite a bit in just a short amount of time. I had a really toxic job that I was able to get away from. I had a suicide in the family. And then last summer, my mom was diagnosed with a terminal cancer.
Shit.
And we don't have a super great relationship. My mom and I, Christina, kind of reminds me of a lot of what you talk about.
Yeah.
But I've still been traveling to another state to be with her and help take care of her, and be there in this time with her. And my partner has been amazing, and he's so wonderful and understanding, and we really have so much in common. And, you know, he's very grateful for the things I can teach him. He started going to therapy himself, and he's just a really great guy who truly appreciates growth. But
yeah, where's the but?
Of course, always the but.
Always.
We haven't had great sexual chemistry since the beginning. And it started out just feeling like he just has quite a bit less experience than I do. He's had very few relationships. They've all been long-term and pretty monogamous and just not very explorative. And I'm a bit the opposite. And I was like open to like being patient with him and teaching him and like growing together in that way. But it just got to be pretty hard. And now I'm in this place where I'm like struggling so much with my own things that I just am not interested in teaching, and I'm not super interested in like sex in general. And I'm kind of torn between this, like,
and you've already
is it me like being a
well, it's interesting because
exactly. And
go ahead.
Well, and some of the things your first caller talked about, we're going through. You know, he's 40 and has some similar problems. We've used Viagra, and so we've done a lot of trial and error, and I see him like really caring and wanting to improve, but I feel like I just ran out of steam, and now I've really run out of steam in more than one way.
Dude, if you can't fuck by the time you're 40, just it's done.
Well, so what comes to mind for me though when you're saying all this? You guys have a great relationship otherwise, but obviously, you know, a relationship can only survive so long if the sexual chemistry is not there. However, making attempts, maybe not at this point in your life because you're going through a lot, but an attempt down the road when you feel ready is figuring out his erotic life. But he needs to figure that out first. Like, what makes him so fucking hard that he can't help himself? What does he jerk off to? What kind of porn does he watch? I ask that with some caution because sometimes people watch porn because they just want to see something in a porn and not replicate it in real life. That's totally fair. But you know, I would have you ever asked him like what turns you on? Like what's something you've always wanted to do sexually that you thought about and you're kind of too shy to ask? Have you asked him those types of questions?
Yeah, and I think that's why it's kind of tough because we are really communicative about that, and he is open-minded and is honest, but then when it gets down to it, I sense this like just uncomfortability with it, and I think it's past things, it's past relationships, and probably a bit afraid of like my history and, you know, education, like how we kind of feel like we're on different levels. And it's just so hard because I've never like had such a supportive, and like I love him in so many other ways that
well, you have to be supportive when you can't fuck, Grace. I mean, that's kind of the main thing. I've never met
he can't lend you his dick, he'll lend you a shoulder to cry on.
Yeah, there's a reason why guys who are amazing in bed aren't supportive, because they have never had to be, because they dick you down. Okay,
you know what? Thinking about it, you do have a point.
Men aren't doing extra work, and of course there are some individual men who are doing, but overall, if you're talking about people as a stereotype, men aren't doing extra work. So yes, of course he's supportive, because that's all he can bring to the table. Yeah. He can't fuck you, Grace.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would also put this on him too, because it's like, it's been a number of years since you've been together. it's very logical thing to say. Hey, the sexual chemistry has never been it for like it's just never, and there's no way he doesn't feel that way too, even if he's never had like a good sex life with somebody. He can't think that it's great when you're standing back going, this fucking sucks.
I also think he might have, and this is kind of fucked up and just based on circumstance, but I think he may have benefited, and your relationship may have benefited and lasted longer than it really should have, because during this period of time you've gone through a lot of harrowing events. Had it been more smooth sailing and you had more time to concentrate on sex, you probably would have been like, I don't care that this guy's supporting me. I'm horny and I'm not getting fucked the way I need to be.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe the universe just delivered you this guy at the proper time when you needed a supportive partner, and now it's time to let it go, because in the long scheme of things, 2 years isn't that long.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't see, because even the way you explained it, you're like, this guy loves growth, but then even in the, you know, one to 2 minutes, that's true. Even in the 1 to 2 minutes you spent describing your situation to us, you used the word, I counted in my head, teaching 3 times. You said that you taught him things. You used that word, that you are doing that for him 3 times. And then you revealed that this is a 40-year-old man. There should not be this much teaching going on from a 35-year-old woman and a 40-year-old man, unless you are some kind of a rocket scientist and you're teaching him how to be a fellow rocket scientist. It's just not, we're trained to be okay teaching men and holding men's hands through things. And just like, I mean, from my opinion, it's just not okay.
Yeah, a certain amount of support, you know, happens in a relationship, and it's really valuable and can create a bond. But at the same time, if you're kind of leading the charge with the sex life the whole time and he's not showing initiative, I would say as a last ditch effort, does he know you feel this way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great.
We've been really open about it. Yeah,
Great.
and I totally understand where you guys are coming from with like that vocabulary of teaching, but it's that thing like at this age where like I've been very independent. I've put myself through school and grad school, bought my own house. I've like had shitty boyfriends. I've been in jobs where I've traveled 50% of the time, and I've heard you both talk about it in various ways. Like there's that dichotomy of like there are just shitty people and shitty boyfriends and people who don't care about you.
He wore
not
you
everything's
down.
going to be
He waited
perfect.
until you were exhausted.
Well,
and
no,
then he scooped you up.
I hear what you're saying though. The support that he showed you is
but
so
then you
valuable.
find someone who's and then you find someone who's maybe not perfect in every way, but is so supportive in all these others, and like truly shows you that he cares to better himself.
You mentioned you mentioned monogamy a couple times. So like, is your solution to this in your own heart, continuing with him as your primary partner and then opening the relationship up so you can have sex properly? Is that what you're interested in? Because I know like it's that seems to be what you're getting at with like when you say you're not on the same level sexually. It seemed to me that you were implying more as far as like monogamy, non-monogamy, which I think is a little bit more of a difficult thing to convince someone who's not. I think it's easier to convince someone to do kinky stuff one-on-one. Go ahead.
Right. No, what I mean is open-mindedness, really. I think he's from a rural town, kind of traditional family, and although he wants to be open-minded, it's still just not ingrained in him. I have a different background, and it's more about open-mindedness.
So can you give me an example of something that you want to do or that you've pitched that he was receptive to, but then ultimately when it came down to it wasn't comfortable doing? I need a little bit more clarity on what we're talking about here.
I think as far as the two of us are concerned, he's pretty open-minded, but if we were to talk about maybe bringing someone else in,
well, that's what
or
I mean.
Maybe like
that was my point. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not open relationship,
but
a freeway.
Adding more people is what I meant when I
said
experimental. Yeah, so more people, because that to me is like that's going to be the most challenging thing. Like if you wanted to tie someone up or do anything like one-on-one, because I know even for me, like
spanking.
when it gets to adding more people, to me is just a different type of person. You are built differently if you like having sex with multiple people. Like, I just don't like having sex with multiple people.
And I do.
Yeah, and there's nothing that you can do. That's the core of who I am. There's nothing that anyone's going to be able to do to change that. Whereas if someone presented me with like an interesting kink, and I mean, I'll go out there. Like, if you want to walk around in a diaper, I'll try it. I don't think I'm going to like it, but like I am so much more open to trying pretty much anything one-on-one. As opposed to adding an additional person. And from my experience with dealing with, you know, and even being the girlfriend to someone in an open marriage, like, that's okay, because to me, that's not disrupting what I have with someone. I'm just an extra almost, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's why I asked that question, because I truly think it's two different types of builds of people. And especially at 40 years old, I just don't realistically see you being able to convince him to do that. And if that's always a part of you that's going to feel unfulfilled, that to me,
part's not going to go away.
Yeah,
you can pretend it doesn't exist, but it's going to grow and likely blow up in your face. When you guys do have sex, how does it feel?
I think it just feels kind of vanilla, you know. Like, that's where I get back.
You want to get like dick down.
I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to not be the one taking the charge all the time. And I think, like, it doesn't have to be wild and crazy, but like I said, the gal who first called, there are some similarities there.
Yeah.
And it could be age, and we've tried a little bit of but it's still just kind of, I think, an insecurity of his. And that's really
I
hard.
would challenge.
It's bad because.
Yeah, it is, because you love him so much, and the bond that you have seems like really beautiful, and the support that you've experienced from him seems like a beautiful part of your life during all these hard things happening. I would say put the ball in his court and say, hey, the way our sex life is going is not sustainable for me. I love you so much, so it's really hard to think about, you know, ending the relationship. But I would like to put the ball in your court and say, I want you to, you know, you can set a night, you know, just put it in your calendar, because if you're the type of people that have a lot of stuff going on, just so you can kind of like clear a night. And I want you to take the reins. That's all you say to him. And whatever that means to him, and hopefully he finds like so what's hot about that for me? Like, just try to find the confidence to take the reins, because I need to know that you are capable of doing that. Otherwise, our sex life, it's just unfortunate. It's not sustainable, and it breaks my heart because I love you so much. I wonder if that.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. Yep.
Yeah. And don't, you know,
I think I've just been pretty disconnected and need to readdress it.
Yeah, because it's important.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for calling, and good luck. I hope you get dick down.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Pulling for you.
Press 1 to start the call or 2 to decline. Press 1 to start.
Hello. Hi, you're live with Guys You Fucked. What's your name and what's going on in your life?
Hi, I'm going to go with my name is April. I don't really want to say her name. So I just wanted your guys' opinion, actually, on a relationship, I guess a situationship. It wouldn't be a relationship. So I was with my ex for a long time, and we broke up. I broke up with him. It was a bad situation, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And so I went on social, POF or whatever. I met someone in my area, and I really liked him. He's super nice, so on and so forth. We've been talking for now like 3 years.
Whoa.
And we have hung out a lot, exactly. But I've been very clear to him. This sounds so mean to me. This is why I want your guys' opinion. Is I've been very clear to him that what I want is not him, and he still wants to be around me and hang out with me. And he's
this
like,
is my area of expertise.
I love you and I love him.
Yeah, I'm
okay, Corinne, I felt like it. Like,
I've got a lot of these guys.
Okay.
Thank God, because I'm like, girl,
Hello.
I got nothing.
Okay. Yeah, so, and I feel so bad because I'm not trying to hurt him. I care about him. I very much do. And a lot of my friends are like, you should, you're being mean to him. I'm like, but I'm being clear. I mean, I've never not. He even says, you've been so clear. I mean, when I've started dating other people, he's literally stopped talking to me. I've told him straight up, I've never lied to him. and I don't know if I'm the wrong. Am I in the wrong?
In your life?
Or
because they fuck.
He's a current sexual partner of yours?
They fuck when you have no one else to
guess,
fuck. Yeah, of course. And when you feel a little sad, you call them up. Girl, I've been through this so many times with multiple people. And you are not in the wrong because, as my therapist said, you are not in charge of other people, grown men's emotions. That being said, at a certain point, you realize that what just happened? You realize that I thought that was like an operator.
Thank you.
But at a certain point, you realize that that a person cannot set boundaries for themselves, so you need to set the boundary for that person. I've had to do this multiple times because it's going to get messy. One, I let go on so long. I'm talking like, I don't know, 10 years. And that it got so messy that this person won't even speak to me anymore because he finally got angry enough that he set the boundary, even though I had literally told him over the years, I was like, stop answering my calls. I said that, because I was like, and so now that person doesn't even talk to me anymore. And I did it more recently, but I did it with where I realized that this person didn't have I don't know what word I want to use, but like they weren't as well versed enough in relationships to keep it casual. And again, there's just some people who can keep things casual and some people who can't.
And then some people who lie to themselves about it. And I'm one of those people.
And I recognized after one failed attempt that this person could not keep it casual, but was not strong enough to let me go because he liked me too much. And so I unfortunately had to set the boundary for him. And I said, I know you think you can keep it casual, but you can't. And I think that's the reason we're going to be able to maintain a friendship. But you got to set the boundary. You have to. There's no way you can't get through. This is going to be a mess for you. And this guy is holding out hope for you. And so it's like,
oh my gosh, this is why I listen to you guys.
Hope is so addictive.
Yeah, and like the thing is, it's like, yes, you shouldn't have had to do this work. This person should have been able to do this for themselves. But like, think of all the dick he gave you and the support he's given you over the years, and always being there for you nonstop. And then so gift him back the rest of his life, so he can find someone who can reciprocate. And because I'm sure this person is deserving of love and stuff, and you're not going to be able to give that. And everyone deserves to seek something that is actually attainable.
Yeah.
So
well, that was a good answer.
Oh, that's one of my
main
areas
of
expertise. You called the right people. That's my thing.
This was really beautiful.
Wow. All right.
It's a very difficult thing. Though.
Thank you so much.
I brought it up a lot in therapy. So
yeah, thanks for calling and good luck.
I'm glad I don't have to. Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye. Good luck.
Love you, bitch. Wow. Yeah, I've never had somebody casually fucking me that liked me more than I like them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever happened.
I'm the man. That's why.
I know caller.
Oh, boy.
That's why I know how to walk girls through getting hurt, because I've hurt men in the way that girls get hurt.
Damn.
So it's like this.
Damn.
It's a secret.
Savage.
It's a secret gift.
Okay. Call it. Yay. Okay. And then we're gonna do. Oh.
That's
Okay.
me
This
muting,
person
by the
keeps.
way.
Okay.
And to start the call will start at the beep.
Hi, hello. You're live with Guys We Fucked. What's your name and what's going on? Why you hung up? You hung
Nobody
up.
hung. Is she there?
Yeah, they hung up.
Oh.
Wow.
I don't think I accidentally hung up.
Being ghosted on our own goddamn show.
No, but this happened twice though, so I'm curious. Call again, guys. Call again.
Driving through a tunnel.
Yeah, right.
It's the song "Stan" in real life.
Shit.
Oh my
Eminem.
gosh.
Oh man, I'm holding out hope for him.
I'm still worried about Grace getting fucked. Can't stop thinking about that. I want that poor
Or 2 to decline. Press
up.
1 to start the call or 2 to decline. The call will start at the beep.
Hi, hello. You're live with Guys We Fucked. What's your name? What's going on in your life?
Hi, my name is Maddie.
Hi, Maddie.
Are you from New Jersey?
I am.
I saw that. I saw the same area code as mine, and I was so excited.
Jersey strong. What's going on, Maddie?
Absolutely. So I have a question for both of you in regards to what you see as your life's purpose.
Ooh.
So
Nice light question.
Yeah.
I love it.
I work in
Wednesday night conversation.
I work in a very male-dominated field.
Uh-huh.
I'm a captain in the United States Marine Corps.
Fuck yeah. Thank you for your service.
I found this as a career in college, and it ended up being the light bulb moment came on, and I decided this is what I wanted to spend my life doing. But I'm reaching a point in my career that it becomes difficult to manage what I think I should be doing with my job and being healthy and feeling confident about my stress levels or my emotional capacity to do the work.
Wow.
Especially in this field where the culture does not allow for, one, emotional people and then emotional women. So that on top of huge sexist culture of the military, and I can't explain it away, but I also love my job and I love the Marines.
And I
wanted to ask both of your opinions on
what to do.
If you think comedy is your purpose, what is the best way to continue doing something you want to do, but if it's taking a toll on your mental health, when's the time to set it aside?
This is a very serendipitous call because I had almost I had therapy earlier today, and I had almost the same exact conversation regarding comedy with my therapist. And it was because today was a very sexist day in my life. I just experienced a lot of online misogyny, and most times it doesn't bother me, but when it bothers me is when I feel like it's actually affecting my ability to get to the next level in my career, which it seems like is happening for you. And my therapist said something very interesting that I had to write down. Basically, she said, you've gotten as far as you can in your career, you've gotten as far as they will allow you to get. And I think that's super accurate because you would think that you experience kind of less walls and less misogyny as you get more powerful in a male-dominated career. But I would say I experience more misogyny, because I remember Christina and I getting interviewed when we first launched Guys We Fucked, and a popular question at the time was what's it like being a female comedian? We would roll our eyes and be like, honestly, it's just the fucking same, because we really didn't see a difference, because in those early stages they go, oh, let the girlies try the comedy, but then as you get higher and you start and you get higher and you start actually being competition for these few spots that there are, perhaps men realize that and they go, we got to hold this bitch back. And so I'm sure similar things are happening. But I mean, you have two choices. Your choices are, choose your sanity, which I think is super
wise choice,
super fair. Or you can be like, I'm gonna sacrifice a little bit of my mental and probably physical health to get to the next level, which is kind of taking this burden of womanhood on your own shoulders, which is the route that I think I will probably take, but also why I'm not gonna have kids. I'm gonna dedicate a lot more time to doing that, and it will take a lot more toll on me, and I would never expect that or ask that of anyone else, but at a certain point some of us have to do it.
Can you tell us what is a moment or an instance or a facet of your job that you absolutely love that lights you up, and what is an example of something that is extremely disheartening to you that's happened to you?
Heavy questions, but I keep a running note in my phone of all the sexist things that I'd noticed in the workplace. So little things from people starting emails with gentlemen when there's obviously other women in that email chain, or walking into a room and being the only female there and people say certain comments. And it's not to say that I try very hard not to justify bad behavior, but my attitude and my, for lack of a better term, masculine energy, in my opinion, makes me well suited for this job. I enjoy being in a combat arms MOS. I like being out in the field. I like shooting guns. I like doing training with all of the Marines. And I have never had any difficulty managing my subordinates. I have never been able to I've never had to manage difficult situations with my younger Marines that I am leading. They open themselves up to me and we have great conversations. And that's the best part, is that the people I'm in charge of, I know they're taken care of.
Wow.
But it's my peer group and the superiors above me that make things more difficult. And phrases that exist in the Marine Corps, like silence is consent. I hate that phrase, and it's said so often because it's a part of like, hey, let's ask this question at the end of a meeting. Any last words from anyone in the group? And then they start off with, well, I haven't heard anything, so silence is consent.
Right.
Meeting's done. And those little things are so frustrating.
That adds up, man. That adds up.
Yeah. But also, I think that like your impact is going to be so important.
Yeah.
But again, it's like it is a personal choice, like how much you want to take on. Also, I mean, this is a side note, but I feel like you should write a book under a pen name and expose all this stuff, because anytime we talk with women, in the military, we just hear wildest stories.
Never good. And I have a question. Have you brought these things up with your subordinates when they say, like the gentleman with the email thing? That is the military, and I'm coming from a military father who was drafted and served in the Navy as an E8. Like he fucking went up the ranks. He was very sexist towards me, his daughter, in ways that I'm sure was ingrained in him. But the military claims to be so gung-ho on respect. And starting an email with gentlemen when you are CC'd is not respectful. And so can we cut this behavior out, please? Because these little things have happened since I've been working here. I'm putting words in your mouth, but like, it's really wearing on me. Like, have you tried to bring those things up?
All the time. With my subordinates, I usually start every conversation, or if I'm joining a new unit and I talk to new people, I say, hey, here's my leadership policy. Here's what I appreciate in my Marines. Here's what I'm going to give to you. And here's certain things that are not acceptable. And that has always worked well for me. But it's most of the time, it's situations with higher ranking officers that if I'm not in a position to correct it, it feels very it feels awkward, and then sometimes it turns into, oh well, the female officer made a joke or made a comment about my thing that I called a joke. Yeah, so it's it's hard because I'm one of two female officers.
Exactly, because that's what it is. I mean, and so it's even more annoying when you're not in a business of jokes, because that men love to cover things up by being like, it was a joke. And I mean, it's oh my God. When you're in a business of jokes, you're like, okay, well, some things are jokes. We're not
on stage,
but some things are not jokes. So you can't just call everything that you do a joke when you're a comedian, you know?
I will say though, it sounds like the impact you're making on the officers that you're your subordinates is actually making a huge difference in the military. Like, boy, after hearing you talk, the military is really fucking lucky to have you. Holy shit. You are adding such a positive vibe to this culture that is so fucking toxic. And also in my head, like all the older people that are in charge of you, they're going to die one day or retire. And you're going to be the one in charge. And
that's what I say.
I mean, they will. That's just, how life works. And so, but it's cool because the subordinates that you are training, like they are learning to respect a female in a leading position. I mean, that is huge. That is huge. And you're not doing it through humiliation, and you're not doing it through being sarcastic, and you're doing it through like being a fucking person and leading by example. And so you're going to make an impact on those young men for the rest of their lives, and women. I'm sure it's going to be so fucking inspiring to see a female leading them. That is just so like the spiel that you mentioned to us that you give at the top when you're changing units with like what you accept and what you don't accept. I mean, that is like an incredible form of communication that you're demonstrating. So you are making a big impact. Do you think there's a way like that you could, are there other women of your ranking who you could, like get together for some kind of like a monthly, like, I don't mean support, but like a monthly like check-in meeting outside of whatever it is you're doing? I mean, just to come together a little bit so you don't feel so alone in this. I mean, that might help lighten your burden a bit. I also wonder if there's a way to do like an anonymous suggestion box so that all of the people that have experienced sexist comments in the military can write them down, and then they can be read to the people that are acting sexistly. That's a word that I made up.
Yes, it's something that gets talked about where they say if we have procedures in place to if you want to form a report if somebody does something against you. Those things exist, but
that's so formal.
I'm also in and I'm in a collateral billet, a duty that if somebody gets sexually assaulted, we have a program in place that you can track it and you can document it, and you can either decide to press charges or not.
That's good.
But it's unfortunate because as much as I love that job, sometimes it doesn't work the way I think it will, because it turns into a legal battle of he said, she said, there's not very much that I can offer.
I mean,
so
I wonder if
I spend a lot of time talking.
Yeah.
My female friends, I have a small group of female friends that we've talked about these things extensively, and that is my support system. Unfortunately, where I am now, I'm one of 2 female officers on the base, so it's kind of difficult to get immediate support. But I do have people in my corner, which I am very grateful for.
That's good. There's got to be a way to expose these tiny little, I call them microaggressions, like the gentleman thing, but they're not micro because they fucking add up, and they amount to being extremely disrespected at the end of the day. If there's a way that's not a formal reporting system so that people can feel comfortable anonymously reporting, hey, this was something that was said to me in an email, this was said to me in the meeting, this was said to me by a male officer, and like if those moments can be anonymously reported on and then also put in front of these people, because it's those little microaggressions that lead to this. It's a big part of this sexist culture.
But isn't the problem they're not going to care? Like, can you imagine if we did that in comedy, everyone would just make fun of us,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I think the thing is, like, also, it's like, do you ever fear on a larger scale, like, retaliation? Is that an issue? Like, where your actual safety is in jeopardy?
Or they blacklist you or something?
Yes and no. So I had that happen to me recently, where I attended a formal school because I'm at a base that does a lot of extra training. And in order to be one of the instructors on this base, you have to attend both seasons of this formal school. And I made it about halfway, and during some of our evaluations, I made a mistake, and that happens because it's a new skill that I've not worked with before.
Sure.
And then the staff members of that course, they handled it, for lack of a better term, they handled it very inappropriately. And there's been that entire time I spent with them, it felt like there was judgment and bias because I was one of 2 females in that class.
Like they were waiting for you to fuck
on
up
top
or something.
of that,
yeah, and of course they know, like, if you've ever brought up anything in the past, of course, I mean, this is my entire fucking life. So anytime everyone's always watching me for when I make a move so they can pounce on me. That's how you keep people from fucking talking out. But I go, I'll just keep doing it. I don't care.
Yes.
I mean, but it's,
And that's exactly what happened.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So all of the people who instruct on this base, we call we're all permanent personnel. We're permanently stationed here. So everyone knows each other. And then I did not feel comfortable to report, like, this is an issue. And I feel like there was some sexist undertones here because I was the one person that failed this course, but I still work here. So it's a very in-between awkward of, I know that these instructors are being biased towards me because I'm a female and because I'm trying to, like, work past their own preconceived biases about my behavior or my ability.
Yeah.
But obviously I can't say that because they're like, oh, well, this is just how I talk to everybody. This is how I treat everybody. Yeah, and I know that's not true. Right. But I'm the person who's getting yelled at, or I'm the one who's failing, so therefore, like, my point of view is not valid to them, and that was a little frustrating.
No, of course, and it's
very
like
frustrating.
It's like, what are you supposed to do? Because it's like you are doing such an amazing job, but then you get frustrated because you're like, well, to do the work I want to do or to reach the level that I want to reach, I have to basically fight an entire culture that exists by myself, and it's like, I mean, a real impossibility. Believe me, I've been trying to think of how to do it. I don't know the answer yet, and when I come to the conclusion, I'll certainly share it with everyone. done. But I mean, yeah, that's what it is. So it's like you get to a certain level of success in your given field, and then you go, now instead of being up against just my colleagues, I'm literally up against the cultural constraints of being, in this instance, a woman. I mean, it can be other different types of minorities, but yeah, in this instance, it's being a woman. And, you know, there's a reason that there aren't a lot of women at the top of, you know, any given profession. And that's because it was prevented by a group of men who made a decision to not let that happen. I'm not saying they all sat together and were like, we're not going to get let so-and-so get ahead, but it's like an unspoken part of the military culture. Of course it is.
Yeah, it is.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that's why I recommend something like, you know, I love that you're taking notes, and I think like kind of getting as far as you can and being as bold as you can safely, and then getting together and like, yeah, either writing a book under yourself after or under your real name after you're done with your military career. I don't know what kind of like paperwork or whatever you sign. Obviously it's, you know, when it has to do with the government, it's a little more sticky than comedy. But more formalities. Yeah, get other people's comment stories down on there. But like you need to, you know, tell people. And I think culture will change slowly. Do you feel like more women are joining the military, or?
Yes, I think there has been significant changes, and even in my short career, I've only been in about 6 years, but during entry-level training, there was a year in between when I started and then when I graduated and was able to accept a commission. And within that year, almost every woman in my training pipeline was doing pull-ups, which was unheard of 5 years ago. So it was very, very cool to see that there are more women trying to reach this level, even to serve one tour, which is 4 years, like just to reach a point of success of creating our community and adding more people to it. It's amazing to see. I've seen it everywhere, wherever I've been lucky enough to go, but it's just not happening fast enough. And my concern is not being able to see the success or see my future generation of women, because it could happen at my expense. And I don't want to give up on this career choice, because I would love for it, if it's going to be someone that's going to sacrifice my career so that the future generation of female officers and female Marines can be better, maybe I can do it. But I don't know when that point I will reach it.
Right. I don't think you have to be a martyr just yet. And I also think you've probably made more change than you can realize. Sometimes 100%. It's hard to kind of gauge that from the inside. And definitely things do seem to move slowly. And Krystyna and I have conversations about that all the time. And then we really think back to maybe things that we heard 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And then we go, or read the news from other countries, and we go, okay, well, America really has made a lot of progress for women. It just feels so slow because every day is so goddamn draining. But that's what I also think, that you probably have made a larger impact and that things are progressing more swiftly than you even realize. But yeah, you don't have to like take the burden of being a female in the military like on your shoulders alone. I think you've already done so much, and it's really, you have to use your own discretion, like how much you can handle, but like don't let it ruin your entire life. Nothing is worth that.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, you're a force of nature though, man. You really have I said this, I can't think of any other better wording than this, but the military is so goddamn lucky to have you. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You have a really good head on your
shoulders.
Thank
you. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Of course.
And you see more for yourself than what's in front of you, which is, that's exceptional, because that's not, I imagine that's not asked of you or required of you to be in the military, but you're going above and beyond in that way and giving a shit. But yeah, you just keep keeping tabs on your moods, on your mental health, on your physical health, and then any incidences like this that happen. And then you can kind of go back and, you know, if you've had it one day, you go back and you look at all of your notes and you're like, Jesus Christ, I have endured this and this and this and this and this for every fucking month. Something, atrocious was said to me. And then that will give you the exact answer you need. If you want to leave, the evidence is right there for you.
Yeah, that's a good point. it's definitely it's hit or miss. One day I'm happy to be here and I'm dedicated to making a long-term career, and then certain days happen and you think, holy crap, can I do this anymore?
Yeah, and
Indeed.
You know, my Don Miguel Ruiz's book, The Four Agreements, comes to mind. It's like don't take anything personal, right? So it's like, but it's got to be really difficult when you're surrounded by disgusting behavior. It's just like, okay, yeah, I'm not taking it personal, but my God, is it taking a toll on my soul? So you just want to, make sure you continue to keep tabs on that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's mostly from listening to other people's perspectives, and so I try very hard not to just sit in my, I guess, in my own community and lean on each other. I've tried very hard to gain perspective from outside sources, and, so I thought that this would be a perfect opportunity for that.
Yeah, shit.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for your call, and thank you for your service, and thank you for being a force of change. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Oh my God, I love that call. She's such a badass.
I know.
Holy shit.
I was like, I want to meet this
Yo, the military's
person.
So sexist.
No, I know. I was like, literally, we've never heard any good feedback on it.
Unknown caller.
Oops. Okay, we're going to do that, and we're going to do that.
To decline, press 1 to start. The call will start at the beep.
Hello, hi, you're live with Guys We Fucked. What's your name and what's going on in your life?
Hi, my name is Emily.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got through to you.
Yeah, you're here. What's going on?
I have kind of a general question, and I don't know how to phrase it, but it's basically, what level of fucked upness do two people need to be to establish a proper relationship with each other? Does that make sense?
What kind of relationship do you have in, baby girl? Ideally, no one's fucked. I mean, we're all fucked up in a little way, but can you be more specific?
Sure. Yeah, so I have dysthymia, which is persistent depressive disorder.
Okay.
And the last guy I was seriously dating had borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
We got along. We got along great. Yeah, we had a really good relationship.
Good.
Yeah, but
I'm curious what's making you
we've
ask this.
ended. Well, we're no longer together. He decided to go travel.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering, moving forward, like, I'm 36, full disclosure.
Sure.
And I just don't know what's, I don't know. The guy I'm interested in now is a former addict, a recovering addict.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know, like, what makes sense in terms of...
How long has this person been in recovery for?
Fair. 5 years.
It's a pretty good run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good run.
Yeah.
And overcoming an addiction is it's a humbling experience. It's an educational experience. It strengthens your self-esteem. It strengthens everything. But are you falling into a potential relationship with this person, or you're being hesitant because of the addict past?
Oh, no. I've dated other former addicts.
Okay.
In the past, so I have no
issues there.
Exactly, but I just don't know in terms of, like, how can two people meet each other in the middle of their own messed upness?
I mean, that's dating. That's just two people dating. just because we all come with baggage,
Okay.
right? We all come with baggage. We all
Right.
have some things. Some of them are big, some of them are tiny. You know, and when two people get together, a lot of times your baggage gets magnified in a way. And I think dating is just a matter of like, is your fucked upness mesh well with my fucked upness? Like, you know, if I have addict tendencies, like, if you also have addict tendencies, it's very possible that you could just yes and each other until you're, walking around Philly with a needle in your arm. But you know, yeah, and you know what it feels like. It seems like you've dated people with some baggage, because they're people, so they're gonna have baggage. And you could tell, like, sometimes the baggage, like somebody else's baggage, is super toxic for me. But if somebody else dated them and the way that their baggage complemented each other, it wouldn't be a toxic dynamic, right? So it's like, I think making blanket statements like that, you just kind of have to see where the chemistry is at with you two, and then how you guys handle each other and yourselves independently in the relationship. You just kind of have to let it unfold and use your discernment.
Yeah. Are you calling right now because there is something specifically fucked up happening in your life? Or like, what kind of handle do you have on your mental health right now?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm in therapy. I'm actually in school to become a therapist. I met this guy I'm interested in now through my current internship. He is a prevention specialist.
Nice.
So it's kind of a general question, more of a hypothetical, in terms of just like what are levels of
I think you might be putting the cart before
tolerance,
the horse.
I guess.
Yeah, well, you might be putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah, probably.
You got to give it a try, because you don't know. Sometimes people bring out things in you, like a partner could bring out something in you that another partner doesn't bring out, right? And so you just really got to get in there and boots on the ground and see how it goes.
Yeah, I would never recommend like someone start a relationship if they were like wildly out of control in any way, whether it be with addiction or mental health care. But it seems like you guys both have your things under control. Therefore, it shouldn't be an issue unless there's like a voice in the back of your head that told you to make this call because you want us to tell you don't date this guy, which is something I'm always conscious of during these calls. It's not, there's no reason that someone picks up the phone and calls us, but I can't always pick out the reason for you, but you have to be honest with yourself what your reservations are. And if this is, setting off a red flag that could undo some of what I imagine to be very difficult work you've done to get yourself in a good position, why put yourself at risk like that again, just for some guy who's like cute or charming? There's a million guys who are cute and charming, and most of them, in a couple months won't be either. So.
Oh, yeah. Good call. Yeah.
I hope that helps.
Yeah. Okay. No, absolutely. Thank you for answering my vague question.
No problem. Thank you for asking it. We appreciate you. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Always training to be a therapist.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody's fucked up. We're all fucked up in our own ways.
Yeah, I mean, I've dated some people who I would say were a lot more fucked up than others.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know that I've dated. I'm trying to think if have I dated. Yeah, I guess
I like to rate them on like a difficulty scale,
Right.
Because I consider myself to be an advanced level girlfriend in both what I can give and what you need to be trained in to handle me. And you just need to know that. I rank myself like a video game.
The call will start at the beep.
Hi, hello. You're live with Guys We Fucked. What's your name and what's going on?
Hi, this is Jennifer calling in.
Hello. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi. So I'm calling. I know you guys have kind of gone over this before on the podcast, but I am married to a firefighter, and there is a little bit of a cheating issue going on with one of my husband's coworkers.
Oh.
And
Of course.
yeah, so
Mike goes, of
I know
course.
Not of course. What the fuck?
No,
not of
Firefighters,
course.
cops,
Okay,
they
so-
cheat on people.
Firefighters, cops,
I think the problem is
comics.
men. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. But so I know the rule of thumb is like do not get involved, right? Like, but
Right.
I feel like this issue is, I don't know, like more hits close to home because of the life they live together and the relationships we have as couples and families in the department, right? So,
Okay.
he lives with his coworkers. We're all together constantly. And I just feel like I owe it to this person to I'm with her all the time, knowing what's going on the other end. And I just feel like I should be.
You're like being forced to be complicit in the affair, in the cheating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know you guys have talked about this before, saying like, do not get involved, don't say anything.
Right.
But I just wonder.
My answer
the
stays the
situation.
same. It's still going to be a no from me, honestly. I know it hurts you, and the amount of, right now I'm literally complicit in people's affair. Because I know, but that's not fair because you didn't ask to know.
I would say, hey, can you keep this shit to yourselves because it really stresses me out to be around the woman that's getting cheated on and pretending like nothing's happening.
Yeah.
That is not a fair thing to do to me.
Yeah.
Ignorance is bliss when it doesn't involve you and involve someone else. For this instance, ignorance is kind of bliss. Yes, but that's where I struggle because I have a relationship, with the wife, right? Right. We're actually super close outside of our husband's relationship. We do a lot of things together, and she's confided in me. I think there's something like different lately, like stuff's going on, and it's just very hard for me to. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, but so then she's already open. Okay, so she knows. That's just what I'm gonna say. My kind of inclination was like, there's no way she has no fucking clue. No woman in the history of the world, and that's a lot of what backs up the reason I say never to get involved is because people will admit it to themselves when they're ready to. So she already knows. I assure you, she already knows. She already says. So I think so what you can do without telling her outright, I know so-and-so is cheating on you, keep opening the door a little bit to let her explore those feelings and have those conversations with you. So you're going to be there supportively as a friend, and you're going to let her discover it and talk it out on her own because she knows, but you cannot tell her because I'm going to tell you it's not going to end well. If they are married, if this is firefighter culture, you're going to cause a problem. You're going to end up causing a problem for your husband additionally and making a problem in the firehouse.
How'd you find out?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a really long story.
Did your husband tell you?
Yeah, he told me. He was like devastated. Like he was just like could not believe it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Devastated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, that's nice. It also shows who your husband is.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, it's actually a very funny story. We live in a snowy area, and he came up to him during the snowstorm. Was like, we're my wife and I are getting separated. My husband's like, we all get separated in these snowstorms. Like, because we're all like distant from our families in these situations where we can't get to, I'm like, that's not what he meant. He's getting actually separated from his wife. My husband is just very innocent and like believes in people. So yeah.
Oh, I'm on his team. Oh yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, so she's because that's what I was hoping. I was hoping that she had already mentioned something.
You know what though? Maybe we make the men do some work, and maybe has your husband communicated like, dude, that's such a bummer to his friend who's cheating?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then what does the guy say?
He just is like, well, yeah,
boys will be boys.
No, I think it's just a lot going on in his marriage, and he just is like, yep, this is what it is. Like, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, like if no one's in imminent physical like danger, I mean, I think that's the rule of thumb for marriage, especially marriages. You know, if it was someone who was like going to get married and you were going to stop a marriage before it happened, I think that's a little bit of a different thing.
Yeah, because then you're saving the gal.
Yeah, but they've already like decided. I'm like, and I'm telling you, she just even. I already thought she knew before you made that, and now that she made this comment, it is she's whether or not she concretely knows, it's certainly crossed her mind.
Yeah,
like women are
just
intelligent, intuitive creatures. And I think I really think that's the way, because also things are a lot more meaningful when you figure them out on your own.
It's true.
We learned that in The Wizard of Oz. You have to kind of figure it out on your own for it to have the impact. Because I think like time and time again, especially as women, we are surprised that women don't react in the favor of the woman who told us the thing that we needed to know, because we didn't hear it at the correct time and we didn't hear it under the circumstances that we wanted to hear it. Like right now.
That's true. I will say, I'm thinking of my mom. Like when friends of mine in my life, this is a little different, but like would say like, your mom's kind of fucked up. I'm like, fuck you. No, she's not. You're fucked up. Like I wasn't ready to hear that at all.
Yeah.
And it made me mad at the people who told me something. They were 100% correct. but
yes, it did.
me arriving at that conclusion years later, girl,
right,
was a way for me to actually go, I don't want this woman in my life, and so I had to actually do something about it.
And it made you feel powerful. It was more valuable to you to learn it yourself.
It was growth.
And like also the thing is, it's like, yes, cheating is extremely hurtful, but like no one's actually in danger.
True. Just their hearts, but that can heal. That will
heal. It's like everything is like okay. No one's in danger. Truly, it's like we think of it as very, very bad, and it's very hurtful, and it feels very deceptive and deceitful, and all these things that make us feel bad. But yeah, like no one's in danger, and I just think. Yeah, and even like thinking back to like all the quote new girlfriends that I warned about partners I had. I know they know I'm right, and even if it took 5-10 years, I know they know I'm right.
Yeah,
but
they don't want to learn that lesson yet.
They didn't receive the information, and in fact, ended up ganging up against me most times.
I would also too, because I understand like the heightened emotional feelings that you're having around this, because you are friends with this woman and stuff. I would highly recommend reading or downloading the audiobook, because she narrates it. Esther Perel wrote a book called The State of Affairs, all about infidelity. It is such a logical, comprehensive look at cheating, why it happens, from the perspective of the cheater, from the perspective of the cheated on, from the perspective of the third person. And it's a really intellectual glance into affairs that I don't think anybody else has covered in quite such a way. And it might allow you to take some of the emotional charge that you feel towards a situation down a level.
Thank you.
That's such a good book.
Yeah, and like definitely just ask your husband to kind of stop. Telling you about it, because I agree. Like every time I learn something, I go, I wish I just didn't know this. Quite honestly, because it makes me angry at people in my life, and it makes me angry at men in general. And we don't need any more.
Yeah,
of
we
that.
don't need more of that.
We don't need any more of that.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah.
Thank you so much for calling. We
Thank
appreciate
you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
We have to wrap at 10:30, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we can do some questions.
Yes.
Those were some good calls.
They were great calls.
Really, what a well-rounded.
So proud of you guys.
Lots of drama.
God, I love learning about the people who listen to us. I really, really do. Like it's just so fascinating, and it really makes me like, fuck. There's some great people out there. I need more examples of that, I
really do think, and I was thinking about this a lot today, and it's unfortunate, but I really, I go back and forth about whether or not a person's fan base is a reflection on who they are. And I got to say, I really think it actually is.
It is. It 100% is.
So
100%.
I guess I don't like any of my friends.
We all know my answer to this question, but I'd be curious for you, Corinne, what event from your childhood most shaped who you are today?
Event from my... Like a singular event?
Yeah.
God.
That's a good question.
I don't think there was a singular event. I mean, I think it was a series of events. I think the event is getting matched up with the parents that I got matched up with, most likely. I don't know if that we're calling that like a cosmic or universal event, but I mean, I think that's it. I mean, because I often wonder, like, I think I would still honestly be pretty much a lot of me, even if I didn't have the parents that I have, but it's certainly, made it a smoother road.
Yeah.
Event. There wasn't like a singular event that I can recall. What was your singular event?
I would say when I got the lead in the 9th grade play.
Really?
That changed.
It's so funny because
changed my potential for my because I didn't get cast on the play in 7th grade because middle school was 7th, 8th, and 9th. I wanted to be in the play so bad. I didn't get it, and I said to myself, by the time I hit 9th grade, I'm gonna be the motherfucking lead, and I was. And I go, oh, okay, I could just like work hard and like really focus and like manifest and work hard, and it can happen. Because that changed the course of my life.
That's so interesting because the only thing that crossed my mind was getting cast as the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz, which was the role that I really wanted when I was in, that was my junior year of high school, I think. But
that was the first time I realized like my personal power, I think.
See, I already knew it though. I think I was just like, I know. It was more so, how do I express to these people that I am the right person for the job, not am I worthy of the job?
Right.
So sometimes I think that's what I struggle with. How do I, because, I don't like speak the language as the same language as most people. So it's like, how do I let them know that I can do this in a way that will speak to them? Because I already know it for myself. I feel like it was probably before that then, because I was like already so me by the time 11th grade came around. I could have fucking moved to the city when I was fucking 16, no problem.
Yeah, you could have.
Yeah.
You're very capable from a very young age.
I mean, I ended up moving when I was 17, so I wasn't even that far away from moving here.
Right. So fucking responsible.
Yeah. I honestly think also like my first serious boyfriend in a lot of ways had a really big positive impact on me, because that could have gone either way. And I think our first serious partners do have a bigger impact on us than we recognize as far as like our sexuality, because that's different. Like I was already like the person I am, but I think that kind of makes you into like the woman that you are going to be, since sexuality is such a big part of womanhood, even though that's a bit out of our control.
Yeah.
Society pushes that on us. And I think I had a really like early in my life, a lot of wonderful people came into my life, which then prepared me for all the god awful people that would come in later.
So
and
funny.
You keep coming.
Our charts for that go like this.
Yeah.
They bypass each other completely. And I do say, hearing you talk about it does make me realize I am kind of glad that I had a lot of adversity to face early on, because it did prepare me for the fucked up cruelness of the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not in a jaded way, but just like, okay, none of this surprises me. It's not even disheartening at this point, because I'm like, oh yeah, y'all ain't familiar with that shit? That's my life, yo.
Right.
So yeah, that is a benefit.
So it's like the only, the main armor I have is that I've always really been me.
Yeah.
So it's never going to affect who I am, but it certainly affects, my spirit sometimes.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
All right, guys, we're gonna go save our spirits and end this live broadcast, but we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening.
By going to a comedy club.
Yeah. By hopping in my Mustang and going into a comedy club. But yeah, a comedy club nonetheless. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you called, thank you. These were some fantastic calls.
Yeah,
Make sure you see Corinne Fisher in Ireland. She's performing in Dublin, Ireland next Monday, right?
April 3rd at Whelan's.
Baby.
Go to CorinneFisher.com for tickets.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be in Boston and in Detroit and in Edmonton, Canada, and in Philadelphia and in San Diego, all kinds of places. ChristineHutchinson.com. You can also sign up for my Patreon. For $5 a month, we can do group Zooms 4 times a month. And make sure you listen to Without a Country and digest the news from the least unbiased perspective possible.
And hit subscribe. And also, we didn't even check in with what was happening in the chat the whole time.
Anything
Mike.
happening?
Mike was thinking about people who have done him wrong the whole time.
Every day of my life. Every minute,
Jersey,
every waking hour.
Jersey.
Wait, there were trolls or there weren't trolls?
There was a troll. Yeah,
Just
there was one that had to get kicked.
Well, I figured today I was really heating up YouTube
That's
today.
why I was shocked there's only one. Fuck.
There was only one bad one.
What'd he say?
Nothing bad.
He was a bad boy.
He was just being like
he was being a bad boy.
Yeah, like a
you
pain in the
fat
ass.
fucks calling us like
just
dumb
kind of like
whores.
distracting. No, he wasn't even really saying anything that bad. He was just kind of spamming. So
Oh.
that's a note for all of you. I'm watching. I'm paying attention. You fuck around in my chat, I'm getting you out of there.
Yeah. Ooh, that's the hottest thing you've ever said, Mike.
I'm a daddy.
Mike's the bouncer of the guys we fuck live chat. I love that.
Stepping into
for
his
you.
daddy years.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Make sure to hit subscribe if you have it on the YouTube channel, even if you never come back here.
It's fine. It helps us.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much. This has been Guys We Fuck, the anti-slut shaming live podcast. Listen to us every Friday wherever you listen to podcasts. We love you. Bye.